Shannon and Kanon had already finished walking at 19 steps, their backs still facing each other. When the demons giving the trial gave the signal, they would both turn and settle this. Each had their dueling pistols given by their demons in their hands. The bullets promised certain death no matter where on the body they hit. This duel would not end until one of them died. George and Jessica just quietly watched the ones they loved. They had finally already entrusted all of their thoughts to them and their fates. Just watching over their partners was now the only way they could show their trust. Shannon and Kanon stood quietly with their backs turned. They had already resolved the thoughts they had gathered over these many days. The next time they laid eyes on the other, nothing would be asked of them except pulling that trigger. Beato was the only one who still had no determination or resolve with regard to this duel. The closer that moment came, the less she understood. The love between George and Shannon wasn't standing in the way of the love between Jessica and Kanon, or vice versa. Why, when both sides could find happiness, were they forced to kill each other?
恋人たちの邪魔になるわ。邪魔をしてるのはあなたたちじゃないですか。どちらかが倒れる。倒れた方の恋人たちが嘆き悲しむ。あなたたちさえいなければ誰も悲しまない。
Well, probably no one would also find love according to them as well.
それは違う。僕たちがこの決闘を取り持たなかったら、
二組はどちらも破綻したわ。これは必要な決闘なの。私は最初から納得できなかったんです。魔法の奇跡がなければ恋って成し遂げられないんですか。恋って愛し合う二人さえいれば他に何もいらないんじゃないんですか。この決闘は無意味です。だからやめて、二人とも。シャノンもカノンも。あんなにも実の兄弟のように仲良しだったあなたたちがどうして殺し合わなくちゃいけないの。私にはどうしてもわからない。
Everyone should have been able to hear Beato's yell. However, no one's expression changed.
そうだよ。よく気づいたね。
それこそ愛の真実。何がですか。
愛し合う二人以外に本来は何もいらないんだ。
だからそれが二人でないとき、私たちは決闘でその数を二人にしなくてはならない。一人の女性を奪い合っての決闘ならまだわかります。愛し合ういびつな三人を二人にする決闘。しかし彼らは二人と二人、それぞれの世界はもう完成されてるじゃないですか。
Because the idea of the servant, they're not a complete person, that they have to be one, i.e. they have to duel to come to form one real person. Or one full person. Is what I'm getting from this. And there's not enough with Kanon and or Shannon with George or Jessica.
本当に愛し合う二人の身分は関係ないの？
妻を持つ男との恋は許されるの？夫を持つ女との恋は許されるの？
親との恋は許されるの？子との恋は許されるの？恋の許されない身分なんていくらでもある。
じゃあ家具って何なんですか？どうして家具は恋をしちゃいけないんですか？
魂が一人に満たないから。シャノンもカノンも駒である君ももちろん。
あなたたちはみんな家具。魂が一人分に満たないから人間以下。
人を愛する資格はただ一つ。一人に満たつ魂を持っていること。だから愛し合う二人は世界を生み出せる。
Which is why they need the duel.
例えば、妻を持つ男はもう一人の女を愛する資格を持つと思う？あるわけがない。二人の女を愛せば、その愛情は一人分に満たない。そのような男に愛する資格はない。ね？人を愛する資格のない人間や身分なんていくらでもあるの。二人の愛の一切あれば関係ない？それは甘い愛の偽善。
僕たちはね、恋をする資格を偽る人間を許さない。世界を生み出す最小人数を満たせない人間以下の存在の恋を許さない。僕たちの試練はそのためにある。罪深き魂たちに一人分の魂を取り戻させ、本当の恋ができるようにするために。
There we go. So we know that, okay, I'm right then. Or at least I'm gonna say I'm right. If I'm understanding the situation correctly. That this duel is the symbolic idea of them the person coming together as their soul in a sense, or personality in a sense, coming together as one person through this duel and facing themselves and coming to terms with who they really are and how they truly feel. The pair, bidding farewell, quietly asked for the signal to be given. Zephyr nodded silently then walked to a place that could be seen by both of them, ideally in the middle. Furufuru spoke in a voice quiet enough to avoid distracting the two duelists. It's to see who succeeds. Glass half full. If I was just dropped into this story, I'd have no idea what they would be talking about either. But going through everything that's happened in the previous episodes, it's easier to see than if this was a one-off. It's a one-off thing, I'd be fucking lost.
いいえ、わかりなさい。これは本当に人を愛することができる人間が誕生する瞬間。意味がわからない。どちらが勝とうとも、どうか祝福してあげて。今彼らの家具としての日々が終わる。
合図は簡単。僕が1、2の3、3と同時に決闘開始だ。
Now, does it start on 3? Does it start on go?
承知してます。同じく。
Is there a penalty for shooting early?
2人が共に弾を外したら一度中断。再び弾を与え、もう一度背中合わせからやり直し。
I have a feeling they'll both shoot each other.
決着がつくまで繰り返したい。
ジェフ、この決闘過去に何度も見てるのかい？
Probably never.
もちろん何度も見てきたよ。
Oh, no, well, never mind.
大抵
Foot and mouth.
何度の打ち合いで決着がつくんだい？
ほとんどの場合、弾丸一発で決着がつくよ。
みんな随分と拳銃の腕がいいんだな。
Well, no, you just... If the first person misses, you've won.
違うよ。片方が外せば残った方は悠々と追い詰めて撃つことができる。
Yeah, you can take all day long and just aim and shoot.
初弾をもし外したらまず勝ち目はないね。
You can only hope for a retry.
しかしぼんやりしていれば引き金も引けずに負けることになる。
You have to aim slightly and then trust your faith.
同じ負けるならせめて引き金を引いてから負けたい。
いい覚悟だよ、二人とも。では行くよ。
Count it down. Or up. It's fucking tense. 3. Who will win? I have a feeling both and neither at the same time. In the Golden Rose Garden, when the number 3 was yelled, the sound of gunfire rang out once. Even the people watching couldn't tell whether that was a single gun firing, or the sound of both going off at the same time. Oh, damn! Kanon was the better shot. Get fucked. In the midst of the stench of gunpowder and white smoke, there, with the gun raised and smoke trailing out the barrel, was Kanon. And lying on the earth was Shannon.
Shannon! Yeah.
George loses shit.
Shannon が倒れたのは銃声より早かった。
Damn. Oof. Her resolve wasn't strong enough. Jessica's distressed expression was enough to explain what had happened. What? Slowly, Shannon stood up. Did she drop beforehand and he just missed? There was no bullet wound anywhere on her body. He fucking missed. God damn it, Kanon. At the time of the signal, Shannon had thrown herself to the ground, dodging the bullet. It had been a bad. If Kanon had turned around and taken the time to aim carefully before shooting, then he would have shot her as she lay there. However, if Kanon shot as soon as he turned around, she would be able to dodge it. Kanon had also made a bet. He did not underestimate Shannon's skill with the firearm. He was fully aware that hoping Shannon would be timid enough to let him shoot first would result in him losing before even pulling the trigger. So he decided to shoot right away. And he had predicted that when he shot, Shannon would reflexively pull the trigger too. Since he was already planning to shoot right away, he was sure that his readiness would allow him to shoot with accuracy. If Kanon had cautiously turned around, and Shannon had shot instantly with the strength of her will, then Kanon wouldn't even have been able to pull the trigger. So Kanon hadn't been impatient. The two had simply given it their all, left their fates to the heavens, and reached this result. Don't suppose you want to miss. I didn't imagine that my quick-tempered sister... Oh. I didn't notice the quote. Whoops. Speak up. As Shannon quietly pointed the barrel at him, she slowly walked forward. She planned on cautiously closing the gap until she reached a distance from which she could hit him with even more certain accuracy. Just put it to his chest and fire. And Kanon had already lost any means of fighting back. He could only try to dodge Shannon's bullet and place his bet on the second round. If they both thought this, then they were wrong. Kanon dashed forward like a tornado, bent over it so low that he was almost crawling over a shadow. If you take her gun, you got this. The duel could only be settled by a bullet, but he wasn't the only one who had a bullet. If he could steal Shannon's gun away from her, he could turn this fight around. And if Shannon calmly shot through Kanon, it would end. The odds that Shannon would miss, the odds that he could get close enough to her before she fired. Kanon bet all the chips he had on these. Shannon could draw Kanon in until the last second, then shoot him from a closer distance. She could also pull the trigger just before he reached her, and they would start over from the beginning even if she missed. Shannon kept her gun pointing at Kanon's forehead as she compared these options until the final moment. She let her shot calculating the distance she had already moved and the time it would take to pull the trigger. The goddess of fortune smiles impartially. Getting past the final moment, Shannon could have shot. Kanon barreled into her chest. Then he swung his hand up and knocked the gun Shannon held into the air. That strike sent Shannon's gun flying into the sky. At the same time, Kanon's gun also flew from his hand and danced through the air. Oh, fuck off. Not this shit. The two guns danced a rondo through the sky and reached their peak and began to fall. Grab both. By the time neither knew whose gun it was which. The two guns were exactly the same. Everything about them was identical. There was no way to tell them apart. However, there was one difference. Only one of them had a bullet inside. The pair raised their hands to the sky, trying to grasp their fate, their miracle. It was as though they were trying to grasp the wings of a descending angel of miracles. The pair looked up at the brilliant sky, and entrusted everything in the goddess of fortune. Then they grabbed each of their guns out of the air, and after dancing a momentary rondo, their arms crossed each other. Even that had been like a dance. Then they pressed the barrel of their gun up against the other's forehead, both as steady as a rock. Fire first. I clicked the trigger before even thinking, because if I want enough reaction time just to guess if I have the bullet or not. Even they could not know which gun held the bullet. They both pressed the triggers. One would die and one would remain alive. The match would end. George and Jessica wouldn't know how it had turned out until the moment came. However, was it really impossible for the two holding the guns to know? The barrel of Kanon's guns, which had already been fired, must have been warm, and the barrel of the other gun, which Shannon hadn't fired, should have been ice cold. So perhaps the pair of them did realize which gun was which. And yet both expressions were solemn, filled with an absolutely no doubts in their own fate until the moment the trigger would be pulled. I don't know. Let's take a guess. Shannon's gonna die.
もはや今日という日の前には
そうだねどうせ蘇る黄金鏡の前には本当にただの茶番じゃあ後ほど後ほどさようなら
Or I was just wrong. Yeah. Suddenly, Kanon fell to the floor as if he had an attack of anemia. It had happened without warning beforehand, so everybody rushed up to him in alarm. What they saw surprised them. There was a single strand of blood across his forehead, making it look as though it had cracked open. Tripping balls. Trying to get a look at the wound, Goda wiped Kanon's forehead with a handkerchief. However, his forehead was perfectly smooth without any trace of a wound. And yet, almost as though it was seeping through his skin, blood was pouring out. I'm done. I'm leaving. Get an Anjo in here. Kanon's forehead was pale, and though his eyes were open, they'd lost the light of the living. Just as though he was a puppet whose strings had been cut, he passed away.
Sayonara, Kanon-kun. そして、ありがとう。
Jessica dashed up to Kanon's corpse, held it, and pressed her forehead against his. And as the still hot remaining blood was smeared over her forehead as well, she sobbed. Is it really a win, though? Shannon leaned against George's chest, as though the strings holding her up had been cut. George held her in silence. There was nothing in the golden rose garden except the wind that had carried the golden flower petals, and the sound of Jessica's grieving sobs. Damn. I'm glad I was over 2 on guesses in that. Because I guess that both of them died, and then guess Shannon died. I guess I'm just fucking wrong. The worst predictions. Thanks. It immediately fails because George doesn't know how to have a relationship with a girl. There we go. Yeah, that's just as I thought. When Zephyr and Furfur faced the heavens and yelled the miracle of love, gathered the souls around Shannon. They came from the losers of the trial, from Kanon who had been defeated, and from Beato who had dropped out. Slowly the bodies of the two began to break down into flecks of gold dust. There's our true culprit. There's our true culprit and how it's done. As she yelled, Beata the Elder supported the body of their fading little sister. It's because it's not the losers, necessarily. It's just the other people, the other incomplete parts that can't possibly be can't have love, because another part's already fulfilled that. However, the two demons were smiling quietly.
カノンは死んだから消える。そしてベアとはバトラーを愛するために生まれたから、その資格を失って消える。
これはとても公平。あなたが生き残ったなら他の二人が消え去ったのだから。我が妹よ、しっかりせよ。バトラの密室を解き救うのではなかったのか。こんなところで果ててどうする。それでも一なるわらわの片割れか。私ってどうしてバトラさんを好きになるなんて目的のために生まれたんですか。どうして私はバトラさんを好きなの。好きになる理由を実は知らないんです。はあ、こんな時に何を。
I actually don't like him at all.
だって私生まれた時にバトラさんを愛しなさい、愛されなさいって、それが目的で生み出されて、だからどうしてバトラさんを私は好きなのかよく知らなくて。人を好きになるのに理由などいらぬわ。消えるな。そなたが消えたら誰がバトラを救う。
I really don't want her to disappear. I
我
wish
が
she had
妹
won.
よ、ベアトリーチ。
Oh, hey, Kenzo. Damn.
私ってどうしてバトラさんのことを好きなんですか、お母様。
Which one's her mother? Who's her mother?
ああ、俺ってさ、家庭的なことか案外苦手なんだよな。この通りガサツな性格だろ。レディーファーストとか、女の子の前では礼儀正しくとか、そういうのはさっぱり苦手なんだよな。だか
Beautiful.
ら強いて好みはって言われると、そうだな、ジェシカみたいなタイプの女なら結構好きかもな。
Dude, it's your cousin. Stop it.
俺がガサツなように向こうもガサツがちょうどいいんだ。
That's why Beatrice was formed as the way she was.
お互いよ、汚ねえ言葉遣いで気づかれなく、男女とか気にしないでバカがやれるラフな関係が理想かもな。だからもしもいつも俺がジェシカとバカやってるみたいにはちゃめちゃな関係がいいよな。あ、容姿の好み？別にそんなのは気にしねえけどよ。まあ洋画とかに出てくる金髪ボーイ、青目のグラマラスな彼女だったら。
Oh my god, literally. Beatrice was formed by the delusions of a fucking 12-year-old boy.
最高だぜ。
Fucking Christ.
ちいちもませろーい。
Beatrice, listen. I'm giving you my love for Uchimiya Battler. You must become the kind of woman Battler likes. Take the golden hair he likes, take the blue eyes he likes, take this personality that matches his, and then you must love him in my place. And then if possible, you must be loved by him. I can no longer love him. Please take my feelings that went unfulfilled, my feelings that I can't hold back, and make my wish come true. From this day forward, you are no longer the Rokenjima ghost that lives only to play pranks. From this day forward, you will become the master of this island and wait for the day that he comes to fulfill his promise. From this day forward, you will do this in my place. So from this day forward, you will no longer be me. Please forgive me for pushing all of my worries onto you, while I tried to find happiness. From this day forward, you have the right to hate everything. From this day forward, you are the Golden Witch Beatrice. And one day, you will destroy everything, revive everything. You will bring blessings to all lovers. And when that happens, I pray that you and I will both succeed in finding happiness. From this day forward, you will no longer be me. From this day forward, I will no longer be you. The two of us will split apart as a single soul and share it. And though, of course, neither of us will possess a complete soul, I'm sure our dreams will be more numerous than those of humans. Let us be blessed, my dear Beatrice. No one will be able to see your form, however I alone can see you. And if you are loved by many people, I'm sure that everyone will be able to see you someday. With love, they will be able to see us. I believe I'm right. I think this just confirmed it. Outright. Confirmations feel great, or at least soft confirmations feel great. I don't see any other way of getting around those scenes without having those be that.